Hey, it was Des back with another video. So yeah, how we beat United 3-2. Let's go. Oh my god, I couldn't believe that game, man. Unbelievable performance. Just a great game, just a great feeling as well. Especially like obviously we could have smashed. We completely dominated the game, like much better team. Even if you look at the XG and stuff like that, you can see we completely dominated that game. Kept them in their own half, continued to create so many chances. Obviously we made it easy for them because of the situation where Ramsdale parried that shot, and obviously Rashford's insane goal that he scored. There's not much you can do about that. But we completely different, and we show like there's a golf in class between the two teams. Like on the pitch, you can see throughout the whole game, had the ball in their own half, dominating the game, creating so many chances. I feel like if we were a bit more clinical in certain situations, it wouldn't have been close at all. We could have scored 4 or 5 goals, you know what I mean, like in during that game. So it was a fantastic game for us. I think like going into this period of January, it felt like it was going to be difficult. You know, we had like Newcastle, we had Tottenham, we had United games, and we felt like these games were going to be season defining games if we're actually a team that's actually going to win the league or not. Going into these 3 games, obviously the Newcastle game we drew, but then we went to the Tottenham United game, and it's like if we don't take our chances in this game, if we don't like score the goals we need to score, you know what I mean, if we didn't win these games, like a draw wasn't going to be enough. We wouldn't be able to separate ourselves, and Man City could then capitalize on that. The fact that we went into these games and we got what 7 points out of the 9, and the only game we drew to was Newcastle, and we went and beat Tottenham away from home and then beat United again at home. It's unbelievable, man. I think it shows that the team is actually ready to win a title. They're willing to, you know what I mean. They're willing to go all the way. They've got the right mentality to do these things as well. And even the fact that against United we went down, we conceded first, and then we had to come back and then go in the lead again, and then they equalized again, and then we had to go win it. And the way we also reacted when they scored, or reacted when they equalized and things like that, our heads didn't drop. It just shows the right mentality of the team. It just shows that this team, they feel like they you know, like they're ready to win the title. They believe they can win it and things like that. So I mean, this team for me, despite the fact that they're young, they're playing with the right mental state. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with this team, and I think the fans can see that through the players. Or the fans, I mean, the fans are behind, and fans are believing. Everyone is believing, and these players are allowing us to dream. They're allowing us to believe. So it's just really good to see the fact that we went into season-defining games, games that could have wrecked our title challenges, and despite all of that, we went there and we got maximum point against Tottenham and United, and that's just great to see. That's just great to see compared to like teams of the past. Straight to that, obviously, we knew that once we go into this game, we had to, like, if we beat United, that was the end, because there was obviously talks of United being in a title race as well, especially after being Man City, but then they drew to Crystal Palace. But obviously with us, if we went to United, if we lost, they would have been back in the race, you know what I mean? But we went there, they came here, we beat them, and now the point is what is 11 points gap, and we've got a game in hand. If we win our game in hand, that makes it 14. So just like that, we already know that United are going to be out. If we won, especially, I feel like they're out of the title race already, but if we win our game in hand as well, we just cement that, because it makes it 14 points. There's no way back for them. So just like that, it's down to Arsenal versus Man City again, and I feel like in that race between Arsenal and Man City, we're obviously the team in form. So we've got a great chance to win it. I still believe that we can win this. That we can win the title. I'm starting to believe as well myself that we can win it. We just have to continue to keep this consistency, continue to maintain our form, and there's nothing that's gonna, like, I don't think there's anything to stop us, as long as don't like, it's just us. We just have to keep on playing. We're already in the lead. We've already got the gap between ourselves and Man City. We just need to win our game in hand and then continue to play at our best. I think the games against Man City is gonna be like a defining game. That game against City, if we can beat City or even draw, then that would be, if we beat City, oh my lord, you know what I mean, like if we beat City, that would define everything, that will stamp everything on there, you know what I mean. So but yeah, we just have to continue to be consistent. I think we have like this, maybe like in the next 10 games, I think our run is really good. We can start to create some distance, and hopefully Man City have some bumps in the road, you know, maybe the drop points here and there. I think we can actually be really consistent in the next 10 games and move from there. There's some difficult games. I think that's Man City and Liverpool, something like that. Yeah, I think Man City, Liverpool are the hardest games we've got in our next 10 of something. I have to look at the fixtures again, but I think Man City, Liverpool. But if we just get maximum points in those games, or even a draw to Man City, then that should be, you know what I mean, because drawing to Man City would, like, at least that would maintain the gap, and we already know United can't catch us anyway, so that would maintain the gap between ourselves and Man City. But if we get maximum points against Man City, then what more can you say after that? But anyways, yeah, let me go straight into the game. Some of the things that happened in the game. So the first thing I'll talk about is Zinchenko. For me, man, this guy is unbelievable. What an incredible signing that we got here. It's like, I can't even believe that Man City even like sold him. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe they sold him to us, because he's completely changed our game. Not just through his ability on the pitch, but also like the mindset he's brought to the team. There was an interview recently that came out, I think it was after the game, an interview that came out where he was saying to the players, he's not talking about top three, he's not looking at top three or top four, anything like that. He's just thinking about the title. And I'm just thinking, like, he just completely changed the mindset. You can see on the pitch, he's driving the players forward, getting them to understand that they're champions and they can win this, and just the belief. And when you look at a player like that, you know he's won things in the past, and you look at him and you feel like, yeah, I can go behind that guy. You see the passion he's showing on the pitch. I think after the game, Saliba went up to him and like tapped him on his chest and pointed at him, like to say, like, you're the man. You know what I mean? And that's just the mindset aspect that he's bringing to the team. He's bringing a mentality of a champion that he's bringing to Arsenal, you know. And then you've got like then his ability as well on the pitch, which is another level of insane. Like, it's just his technical quality. He's technically perfect. You can't get a ball off him. His ball retention is amazing. His passing is so good. The way he can dribble with the ball as well. He can go on the outside, he can come on the inside. There was even periods in the game where he was on the right hand side of Partey, and he's like distributing the ball and like breaking lines of passes on the right hand side. He just picks up position anywhere. He got the most passes on the pitch. He's just constantly involved in the build-up play. Our build-up play is so good because of what he does on the ball. He's just popping up on the left hand side, on the right hand side, rotating with players on the left hand side with like Martinelli and things like that. And then even when Trossard came on, you saw for the goal, so when Martinelli is there, he's mainly on the inside, but for him to understand that Trossard is drifting inside, so I need to go and overlap on the other side. Then he goes, gets the ball, overlaps Trossard, gets the cross, which obviously Odegaard was then blocked, which led to Nketiah scoring the winning goal. And then you think about the goal, the Nketiah goal as well, where he played the pass between like to Odegaard, and Odegaard played the pass wide to Xhaka, who then crossed it again. He's just constantly just able to break lines, he finds players in his pocket of space, and he can find it anyway in any situation. There was even a time in the game where there was like a little gap. He was in the wide area and there was a little gap between two defenders, and he just flicked the ball on the side just like that, you know, just like a little flick. He has the ability to play any type of pass. He has the ability to dribble through any kind of space. He's just bypassing players. There was even a time where he picked up the ball deep and just evading players and just bypassing them with dribbling. He can progress the ball with passing. He can progress the ball with dribbling. Just an unbelievable player, and he comes with the mentality of a winner, and also the ability of like that can play that's useful in an elite team. For me, man, he's unbelievable. He's looking at the best left back in the league this season. He's playing at such a high level. But yeah, man, for me, he was the man of the match. His performance will just getting even better and better. Like, he's just great, man. From the next player I want to talk about, obviously, is Nketiah, and for me, man, oh my gosh, this guy. I was looking at the video, the one, the Amazon Prime, the documentary All or Nothing Arsenal, looking at the situation where he was talking to Lokonga whilst they were eating, and he was saying to Lokonga that like, why are you not smiling anymore? And Lokonga said it's because I'm not playing like as much anymore. And he basically told him, what are you talking about? Like, focus. Like, I'm not playing either. You know what I mean? Like, you're not the only one who's not playing. Smith Rowe was also on the table. He wasn't playing as well. Nketiah was at the time wasn't playing in the games. He was barely getting minutes because Gabriel Jesus was fit. But look at the mindset that he's got. You know what I mean? The mindset of you just got to be ready. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, you're not playing, but when you get called upon, be ready. And that's a difference of what you see. You see, look at Nketiah, for example, like he's come into the team in the last 5 games and he's got 4 goals. And he's performing as if he's been playing all season, running up and down, running down the pitch, running down the corners, breaking like running in the channels, running in behind, carrying the ball, dribbling, linking up play, getting into goal scoring position. He's looking like an even better goal scorer than Gabriel Jesus was doing at the start of the season even. So like, so that just shows that he just kept himself ready. Like, he knew that when he gets a chance, he's going to take his chance and he's going to cement himself in the team. Now, if Jesus was to become fit, there would actually be competition between Nketiah and Jesus, which is not something we would have thought at the start of the season. But that's just based off his mindset, you know what I mean? And his all-round quality. One player that I really like was Isak, and the reason why I liked him was his all-round quality, his frame, his ability to drop deep, to run into channels. But I'm seeing all these qualities in Nketiah, which I didn't know that he had. I didn't know that Nketiah had this all-round game, but obviously we saw that at the end of last season what he was doing, and obviously he wasn't playing the majority of the season, but he then came back straight into the team after Gabriel Jesus' injury and just picked up where he left off and just continued. And I feel like he's going to maintain his level, and it's all because of his mindset and his ability. And he's just a very good poacher as well, you know, despite the fact he does all this stuff outside the box, dribbling, linking up play, he's pressing as well and everything, but he still ensures that he's always in the box to poach these chances as well. And he gets 2 goals because of that great movement for the header on the first goal. And obviously great movement again to put himself in that position just on the halfway line, keep yourself onside for the winning goal as well. Great mindset from him, great ability as well. I feel like that's something that we're seeing with all these players. It's not just their ability as well, but they also have the right mindset. And I think and this is all because of Arteta's judge of character. He knows the kind of players that he wants around the club, and I think we need to give him credit for that as well, because what we're doing is because of him. You know, everything that's happened is because of him. He's picked the right players. He's picked the right players with the right ability to fit into our system, but also to have the right mindset to make sure that, yes, I'm not playing, but when I get the chance, I'm going to be ready. All the players on the bench, they're also understanding that when they get a chance, they're going to be ready. And those are the players who are actually playing football games. The other guy I want to talk about is Saka. Oh my days. I was saying that I feel like Odegaard is the player of the season, but man, it's a tight competition between him and Saka, man. Saka might just be even the best player in the league completely, hands down, carrying this team. And he reminds me of Ribery. Forget who's scoring any goals or who's not scoring goals. What he does on a football pitch, we're playing because of the fact that he's receiving. You know what I mean? So, like, put it this way. We had 2 defining games against Tottenham and United, and he's come up as the best players, as arguably the best player in both games. Like, receiving the ball wherever. Like, taking so much responsibility, his influence on the team. I feel like if he's not on the team, we're not going to be the same. We're not going to be controlling games the same without him. We're not keeping the ball in the final third and sustaining pressure without Saka. His ability to receive anywhere, carry, bypass play, his dribbling is mad. He just keeps the ball tight to his feet. Like, at times he's just like, he doesn't have to. Sometimes he doesn't have to touch the ball. The ball is rolling. There was a time where the ball was rolling and he just like fainted and the ball went past him and he just spun the defender and went to the ball. Just the way you can't bump him off the ball, you can't stop him from going forward, you can't stop him from drifting inside. It's like it was only a matter of time before he started scoring goals like this, because when he think about it, he can beat players going outside, inside. They can't stop him. He's too strong as well, and they can't stop him from cutting inside. Like, what's next? If they can't stop you from going on the outside, they can't stop you from going on the inside. They can't stop you from creating distance between yourself and them. It's only a matter of time before you start shooting. And once you start being able to create this separation between yourself and the defender and you start shooting, that's when you start seeing goals like this. This is what Arjen Robben was doing. Because Robben knew that he could create distance between himself, he just started whipping them shots. Saka has that same technical quality in terms of like being able to wrap his foot around the ball, because you see that when he makes those crosses as well. And this is the same with the shot. Simply just create separation between himself and the defender and just whack that shot from 25 yards. What an incredible goal that he scored. For me, man, Saka's the best player in the league, man. Hands down the best player in the league this season. There's no player there's no player that's having this level of influence on their team. Name the player who's having this level of influence on the team. I always make that comparison between Hazard and Ribery, because it's not about goals. Like, Haaland is scoring all these goals. It's not about goals. It's about influence. Look at what he's doing on the pitch. Like, the reason our attack, like, he's a reference in attack. Yeah, like, you got the ball in the build-up play, give it to Saka, and something's going to happen, because he's going to keep that ball. He's going to bypass players. He's going to progress the ball. He's going to get to the final third, and it's either going to be a cross or it's going to be a shot. And when he's off the ball, he's making movements in behind. Like, and the defenders have to be aware of him. I don't know how else to even describe Saka. He's just insane level of ability for his age as well. Like, and just so much influence on our team. It's crazy. But yeah, man, that's Saka, man. Yeah, the other guy I want to talk about, obviously Martinelli. Yeah, it's clear that obviously, like, long term, we're looking to get a player on the left wing that's gonna compete with Martinelli, or even maybe displace him from the team. And we've seen Martinelli's performance kind of dip a little bit, but he's still contributing a lot, like, in terms of his directness to the team. But I think signing Trossard is important, because it keeps him on his toes as well, and it also It gives him competition, and he also for us as well helps because we don't have to only just rely on him constantly. And if he's not having a good game, we can't do nothing because you know what I mean, because we have no other option. And Trossard is a good option, and we already saw what Trossard can do already in this game. Think about the profile of player that Trossard is. He's someone who's more of a central kind of player, someone who's more drifting inside, whilst Martinelli is more of someone who's stretching the pitch. You know what I mean? Like when he plays wide anyways. Someone who's stretching the pitch, making those runs in behind. And we saw that for the winner that Nketiah scored. It's because Trossard drifted inside, or he dropped deep, picked up the ball, drove drove into the acting as if it was going to drive into the box, and then release Zinchenko in a wide area, giving him space. He's going to be free to cross the ball into the box, which eventually led to the goal. I think that's the difference we're going to be seeing from Trossard and Martinelli, and I think it's good for us to have a difference in profile, which will allow us to change the game depending on what we feel like we need. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing from Trossard. We're going to be seeing from Trossard more combination centrally, more drifting inside, more linking up play, whilst with Martinelli we're going to see more directness, more carrying the ball, more trying to beat defenders on the outside, or come back inside and cross, or come back inside and shoot, making off the ball runs into the box, things like that. Whilst we're going to see more of these other aspects with Trossard, as I mentioned already. So I think it's good that we have a different profile that can compete with Martinelli and give us something else. So for me, between Trossard and Martinelli, it's not really about who's going to be first choice, because I think long term we're going to be looking for a marquee signing at left wing who's going to be the first choice. But I think for this title race right now, it's more so about who's going to be needed for this game, or who's needed at this time of the game. So maybe we start the game with Trossard, or we start the game with Martinelli, but we feel like for example, in this game, the team is defending really, really deep. There's not enough space, and you feel like it will be more important to have someone who's dropping. You know what I mean? Someone who's dropping, someone who's got more close control. Like, because Trossard obviously has more close control, ball retention in tight spaces. Who's got more of those kind of tools than you bring on Trossard, because he's got more of those kind of skills. Obviously, if you have a team that's sat really deep, you want to have guys that can do little combination plays, guys that can retain the ball in tight spaces, just to like drag players out of positions and things like that. And that's what Trossard will offer. Martinelli also has what he offers as well at the same time. So I feel like this is that's key as well for us to have the ability to make those changes between Trossard and Martinelli. So I think that's a good signing, as I mentioned before in a previous video. He's a good signing for us in that sense. Besides that, obviously, the other thing from the game is just credit to Arteta, man. Just so much credit to Arteta for, like, where we are at this stage, man. Flipping on, like, I didn't even think we can even be this good. The guy's a genius, how good we are. Like, Cesc Fabregas was talking about how what's changed in the training ground. He's changed so much when he went there. It's completely different to what he was seeing before. Even our injuries are improved as well. And this is all on Arteta. Like, but let's just talk about the pitch, for example, like what's actually going on the pitch. Look at the mindset of the players. Look at what they're showing. Like, even when we go down, they're not dropping. They're not putting their heads down or nothing like that. They believe that we're gonna win the game, and it all comes from our performances, and it comes from what they're showing on the pitch and how he's setting them up to play. Like, straight from the beginning of the game, we're dominating United already. There's no fear. These guys are just going. Look at how organized we are defensively. Even whilst we're attacking, the balance is just, you know what I mean? The balance is great. Like, we're attacking, and as soon as we lose the ball, we're pressing. And once we can't get the ball back, we're dropping deep, and we've got the same with organization. And it's just repetitive, and they know what they're doing. And then offensively as well, at the same time, look at the positional play that we've got. We're constantly pinning these teams back. This is all on Arteta. We pin these teams back. We sustain the ball to find a third, and we continue to create chances over and over and over and over again. You look at the there was like a touch map between like how many touches Arsenal had in United's box, and apparently that's the most touches a team has had this season. It's all because of the domination. We're controlling games. We're dominating games. We're pinning teams back, and we're camped in their box and creating situations over and over again. This is all because of Arteta's his system, what he's brought here, his system in terms of the organization defensively, in terms of like sustaining possession in the final third, in terms of the position of play, in terms of being able to continue to recycle, in terms of our build-up play to ensure that we can bypass teams even when they want to press. When teams know that you can bypass them and get into the final third, they're not going to be trying to press you high up the pitch. They're going to have to drop back because they know if they're to push up so much, you're just going to bypass them again to the final third. Everything we're seeing right now, this is all on Arteta. Man, I hope we win this. We win the league. I just hope we just continue to maintain this consistency. We win the league this season, and then and then the club continues to back him, like going forward for us to keep on improving. Because you don't want to slow down, especially when you have a great coach like Arteta. You don't want to slow down. Give him what he needs. Continue to back him, and obviously you're dreaming about a league title. You can start dreaming about a Champions League as well, man. You can start dreaming about that Champions League as well. Like anything is possible with Arteta, man. The guy's an unbelievable coach. But anyways, man, that's my thoughts following the United game. Arsenal, we're gonna win the league.